in this video, we're going to look at our homework on conversions, which is on handout 26. So one thing you'll notice is that a list of conversions is given to you up top. So when you do problems on this homework, it's important that you show setup and answer. So number one's actually been done for us. So you'll notice I set this up the same way we did our examples. We take what's given and we put it over 1. Now this was kind of tricky. We had to go yards to centimeters. So first they did 3 feet and a yard, so that makes yards cancel. And then they did 1 foot's equivalent to 12 inches, and then your feet cancel. And then we find a conversion from inches to centimeters. That makes your inches cancel. And then we used a calculator to get the answer here. Answers should be rounded to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places, so make sure you follow your rounding rules. So for homework, you're going to do numbers 2 through 11. I did this in the other class too. 2 through 11, but number 10 is bonus. So you need to show me your setup and your answer. You can use a calculator if you want. So I'm going to do 2 examples off this page, and you need to include these in your homework as well. So let's look at number 7. Number 7 is a little tricky because I'm starting with a rate. So I'm starting with 50 miles per hour. So when I set up my given, I have 50 miles in the numerator, but I have 1 hour in the denominator. So it's really important that you get that hour in the denominator. So I need to convert to kilometers per second. So I've really got 2 conversions going on here. I need to go miles to kilometer. I need to go hours to second. So let's start with miles. If I look and find a conversion that works, I know that 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and put miles in the bottom so that they'll cancel. So I'm going to do 0.62 miles equals 1 kilometer. And that's going to make miles cancel, and I'm in kilometers per hour. So I've got the kilometers. Now I need the hour to go away. Now I need to be careful here because it's in the denominator. When I convert, it needs to go to the numerator. So I know that 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So now the hours cancel, 1 in denominator, 1 in numerator. And I'm trying to go to seconds, so since minutes is in the bottom, when I convert, it needs to go to the top. I know that 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds, and then my minutes cancel. So when I go ahead and put that all together, in the numerator I get 50, in the denominator I have 0.62 times 60 times 60. Notice I've got kilometers and seconds, kilometers in the top, seconds in the bottom. So I've got my correct units. When you put this in your calculator, you need to be really careful. All of these need to multiply together in the denominator. So make sure when you put it in your calculator that you put parentheses around this whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can set this up where you guys can see it. So I've got 50 divided by, I'm going to open my parentheses. So this is my denominator, 0.62 times 60 times 60, and then I'm going to close that. Oops, that was the wrong thing. All right, so then when I hit enter, I get 0.0224 and so on. I'm rounding to 2 decimal places. The 2 next to it tells me to round down, so my final answer will be 0.02 kilometers per second. Okay, now the other problem I want to do is number 12. So I wanted to show you this one because it's a very complicated looking problem. But it just shows if you can find the conversions, you can do any conversion problem you need. So we have a physician orders 10 grams of acetaminophen for a patient. Now I don't know what a grain, I'm sorry, I said something else, grains of acetaminophen. I don't know what a grain is. But if I look up at my conversions at the top, I do know that 1 grain is equivalent to 60 milligrams. So since that came up in the question, I'm going to go ahead and write that down. We're told the Tylenol elixir on hand contains 120 milligrams of acetaminophen per 5 cc's of liquid. So then they paraphrase this for us. 120 milligrams is equal to 5 cc's. That's probably important. I'm going to write that one down as well. So how many teaspoons of elixir will we give the patient? So I need something with teaspoons. If I look up at the top of the page, I'm going to pull this back up. I have a couple with teaspoons here, tablespoons and drams. Those are not particularly helpful, but if I come over here, I see that 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. I'm going to write it down. 1 teaspoon is equivalent to 5 milliliters. So I'm kind of looking for a path here. I can go from grains, which is where I start. I can go grains to milligrams, then I can go milligrams to cc's, but I don't have anything to take me to either of these places. So I need to look for something with cc's that either has milliliters or teaspoons in it. So if I go up to the top and start looking for cc's, I've got one here that's not particularly helpful, but I've got one over here that says 1 cc is the same as 1 milliliter. So I'm going to grab that one as well. So 1 milliliter equals 1 cc. And that should give me the conversions that I need. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on this problem. I know I'm starting with 10 grains. I'm going to put that over 1. And I want grains to go away, so I'm going to do 1 grain on the bottom, 60 milligrams on top. That's going to make those grains cancel. So now I can go milligrams to cc. So I repeat with the multiplication sign. I want milligrams on the bottom, and I want cc's on the top. Now that makes my milligrams cancel. So I'm getting closer. Now I'm in cc's. So if I come down here, 1 cc is the same as 1 milliliter. I want cc's on the bottom, milliliters on the top. Those cancel. Remember, my goal is teaspoons, so now I can put milliliters on the bottom. 5 milliliters is equivalent to 1 teaspoon, and then milliliters cancel. All right, so across the top, I've got 10 times 60 times 5. Across the bottom, I have 120 times 5. And then I'm in teaspoons. I didn't multiply those out because I want to cancel from here. The 5's cancel. 60 would go into 120 twice. So all of these are 1s. So notice I'm left with 10 divided by 2. So that's pretty easy. That's going to give me a final answer of 5 teaspoons. So I use this one as an example because it looks complicated, but if you can find the conversions and sort of build your path, you can convert just about anything. So for your homework, you will do 2 through 11. 10 will be a bonus, so you can do that or not. You need to show your setup and your answer, but you are allowed to use a calculator.